Good morning, students. This is Sujit sir, and I welcome all of you once again to my class. In today's class, we shall see how sentences with modals are transformed into passive voice. Let us therefore move ahead. Now, students, before we start our discussion, let me tell you once again that we have as many as 24 auxiliary verbs, of which some are primary auxiliaries and some are modals. Now, which are primary auxiliaries? Verbs like am, is, are, was, were, have, has, had, do, does, and did are called primary auxiliaries. And on the other hand, we have as many as 13 modals. Now, what are they? As you can see here, verbs like shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, ought to, used to, and must. There are, however, two more verbs which have not been given here, and they are dare and need. Now, these two verbs are called semi-modals, and these 11 are called modals. Now, sentences that we find in voice change are generally with these 11 modals. Now, the question arises how we should transform a sentence in active voice with modals into passive voice. Now, as we have discussed earlier about some particular rules, here in case of modals, we also have a specific rule. Let us see what it is. Now, whenever we find a sentence with modal in an active voice, it should be transformed into passive with this formula. What is that? Whatever modal is there in the active voice should be placed followed by be, and thereafter will come the past participle form of the verb, that is the third form of the verb, and that the subject becomes object and vice versa will remain the same. Now let us have a look at an example. I can see it. Now, in this sentence, we all know that the subject is I, can see is the verbal portion, and the object is it. Now, here we have two verbs. One is a modal and the other one is a main verb. And we all know that here can is the modal and see is the main verb. Now look how it is answered. First of all, as we all know that the object in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Therefore, we have placed it in the beginning. Thereafter, we should use the modal given in the question, that is can. So we have placed can. Then it will be followed by be. So we have added be, and finally will come the third form of the verb, and that is seen. And thereafter, as we all know, the subject in the active voice will become the object in the passive voice. Therefore, I has become by me. So the question is, I can see it, and the passive voice of which will be, it can be seen by me. Now here we need to remember one thing, that can never becomes could, or that may never becomes might. If it is can, it will be can in the passive. If it is could, it will be could in the passive. It is not at all like narration change, in which can is replaced with could, or that the present tense becomes the past tense. No, it is not so. Whatever modal we find in the active voice will be used in the passive voice. So here we have come to understand how a sentence with a modal is transformed into passive voice. Hope all of you have understood this method very clearly. We shall discuss more methods of voice change in our next classes. Thank you so much.